On tonight's episode, we review Tom Holland's new movie, Cherry.
And we talk about all the pop culture news.
Tom Holland is having a big year. Two major movie releases.
Yeah, what's about the other movie?
Chaos Walking.
That's right,
yeah.
Chaos Walking, yeah. And there's Uncharted is coming. I don't know if it's coming this year or next year. If
Who knows?
It's changing.
Yeah.
So yes, Chaos Walking and Cherry. We talked about Chaos Walking last week, and this week we're gonna talk about Cherry. It was released before. I think maybe not. It is.
Maybe.
It was released a couple weeks ago, and it's on AppleTV. It's an Apple TV exclusive. And
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Yes. It's about. It's based on a book, so it's from the series movies based on books that we didn't read the book.
But I swear I will one day, except probably realistically I'm not going to.
Yeah, and so the Nico Santos, I think that's his name. Is it? No, this is the guy from Superstore, isn't it? Nico Walker.
IMDb has to say.
Yeah.
I've already forgotten.
Well, the author of the book wrote the book. Yes, duh. Anyway, the book is inspired by his real life events. But he wrote, so is inspired, so maybe he tweaked a little bit and he changed a little bit. And
it might be fair to say semi-autobiographical. Like, the author, was a veteran. He did serve in Iraq, I think. Did struggle with PTSD and addiction and all this other stuff. So
robbed banks and went to prison.
Maybe not that part.
I know.
Fingers crossed, not that part.
I don't know, maybe. Either way, the character, Cherry, the name of the movie, the character in the movie doesn't have a name. Conveniently or on purpose. Anyways. So, as she said, is the story of this guy. He's going to college. He meets a girl. He falls in love with the girl. The girl breaks his heart, and he was like, "I'm gonna join the military."
Yeah, but before that we see he's already like kind of into drugs. We see him take like ecstasy.
Sure.
And use some other stuff, prescription drugs in a non-prescribed fashion.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a major theme throughout the film, and so is this girl Emily, was her name?
Sure.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he joins the army, goes through boot camp, decides to be a medic, and goes through that training, and ends up in Iraq, where his first mission, and this is really the only reference, like the only time they talk about cherries, but they he's out on patrol, and one of the Humvees drives over an IED, and he's got to rescue somebody, and it's a good friend of his, and it's just horrible and traumatic, and the guy may or may not end up dying. He never really finds out, but
it's not only the explosive. They get attacked by a group of.
That's right. Yeah, they are attacked by militants.
Yeah, he runs to save his friend from the other truck, and it's like they start shooting.
Yeah.
Towards him.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And we see. So he does his best. He and his friend do their best to save this guy. They get him into the helicopter, and it is pretty graphic. They talk about like they have to put his guts back inside of him, and it's just horrible. He gets back in the Humvee to go back to base, and he's covered in blood. They get back to the base, and people are like playing ping pong and goofing off and broing out and everything, and he gets in the shower and he's all like shaken up, and someone says like, "Well, you popped your cherry," and I imagine that's the source of the title for the film.
Yeah, it's the only reference. So Cherry, Tom Holland's character, who again I said doesn't have a name. So he goes from college to the military, and then from the military back home. So it's like very, very big transitions, teenage and end of teenage years, and then in college years, and then boom, the military, and then boom, back to civil life with PTSD for all the trauma he suffered there. But before he goes into war, before he goes to Iraq, he made up with the girl, and they got married. So
like he's super made up.
Yeah. So they made up, got married. He went away. Before that, there was boot camp, and during boot camp there was like they have really heavily inspired by what's it called?
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket, and what was the other movie? I can't remember.
Forrest Gump, maybe.
Forrest Gump, yes, yes.
Similar cinematography, similar.
Yeah, and it was a purpose. The producers declared that we were inspired by. We did as an homage, just because we love it and all that. So he goes to Iraq and suffers through all that, and finally comes back home.
Yeah.
And like many other soldiers that serve this country out there in the war, when they come back home, they come with the traumas of fighting a war, and then they come back to home where we are in peace, and you go to, I don't know, a supermarket, and you can find 300 types of cereal. It's like problems that have nothing to do with the problems they dealt with at the war.
And it's really jarring because he's just spent a year like putting broken bodies back together and maybe saving them, maybe not, and he can't see any point to it. And then he comes home to like balloons and confetti and thank you for your service and okay, now normal life, as though none of that ever happened. And it's really hard on him, and that juxtaposition just kind of wreaks havoc with everything he's gone through.
Yeah.
And it's hard for him to ask for help. And then when he does ask for help, the military psychologist is like, how about OxyContin? Just like writes him a script for
prescribe
OxyContin
drugs.
Yeah.
And
like Oxy for I don't get it.
Yeah, so the trauma and the abuse of drugs, and like tiny little things trigger him. Like they go to the ballet, and the guy's wearing shorts, and they dress up. And everybody else don't, and he thinks it's a lack of respect, and he, Anyways, so he suffers through that, and drugs and the trauma, and the wife gets pissed, she gets tired, and one day she's like, you know what, you like this, you do this, I'm gonna do this too.
Yeah, this being some of the drugs that he's been taking to cope with his PTSD. But then also his PTSD and his drug use is putting like a huge like burden and stress on her, and that's what's kind of driven her to this breaking point. And there's this great line in the movie where it says, and that's how we became addicts. And
and they have, what's the word they use?
Dope fiends?
Dope fiends, yeah. They become, there's this very funny, interesting documentary, short film called, what's it called? Alcoholics? Functional Alcoholics? I can't remember the name. It's if... It's Functional Alcoholics. I think that's it. Go check on IMDb real quick. We're doing this live. Check the guy that was Silicon Valley, the bearded guy. What was his character's name? The owner of the house that they rent.
Oh, Aviato.
Aviato guy. Well, Silicon Valley.
Well, I could have told you a while ago, but...
Go there, you can see. So, they basically get into this and,
Bachman. Erlich Bachman.
Yeah, but check him and check short films of him.
Okay.
Some, I don't know, 10 years ago. Workaholics, something.
Yeah, okay, 10 years ago.
Yeah. Maybe even before that.
Okay. Oh, look, you keep...
So, like in this short film, the
Successful
Alcoholics.
There you go.
Which is about this couple. They are completely. They're not alcoholics. They're trying to get out of alcoholism. You know.
Yeah.
The alcoholics, they live the alcoholism, and they work, and they have families and friends. You know, it's they successful. They function. They functional. Yeah. So these two start going into the same path. They start living their lives, but they keep using drugs, abusing drugs. She teaches school. She goes to school, and then after when the drugs runs out, she has to take a break to use it more.
And by drugs, by this point, like they've gone past the prescriptions, and now they're just straight up shooting up heroin.
Yeah.
So yeah, like this is pretty like serious, heavy levels of drug addiction.
Yeah. So then they keep doing this, but of course that will not work. That will not function forever. Like in the short film, one of them gave up. It's like we can't live like this, and she decides to the wife, the lady in the couple, decides to quit and try to live a better life, a normal life. In this case, it's the same. There's a point that it doesn't work. So it's like job is not functioning in life, and drugged all the time, and they start losing money, a lot of money, and
And at one point, she overdoses too, right?
That's right. Yeah, she ends up in a hospital. Her mother tells him to, if you love her, leave her, and if you don't, I'm gonna wreck you. Yeah. Anyways, she leaves. With the mom, go to rehab, but then she comes back, and but now they don't have jobs, they don't have money, but they still need drugs. So he makes a deal with a drug dealer to keep us safe. It's like the drug dealer say, you keep this safe at your house, keep the safe, and that's it. It's like that's it. It's like you don't have to do anything. I'll pay you, I'll give you drugs, and that's it. But then a friend of his convinced him to open the safe.
He didn't even have to convince him that hard. He just said, like, hey, what would a big-time drug dealer keep in his safe?
Yeah.
And they're like, what? And then they break it open because...
As a traditional Tom Holland kind of dumb character, this guy never cared. It's like he runs out of drugs, and he never imagined that the guy would have drugs until his friend's like, hey, it's like, bling!
He's probably got some good stuff in there.
Yeah.
So they bust open the safe.
Oh, there's a montage of ways of trying to open a safe.
Yeah. Kind of like Wile E. Coyote-esque.
Yeah.
But they do get into it, and they smoke, inject, snort, whatever, use whatever's in there. And so our drug dealer comes back and is like, hey, I need my safe.
Oh, no, but there's more. The drug dealer knocks the door. It's like, it's the police.
Oh,
so
that's right.
The rest of the drugs they flush down the toilet, and and they destroy everything. So when the guy opens the door and sees the drug dealer, it's like, hey, it's me. I was kidding. It's like, oh man, they had destroyed all the drugs. So what are we gonna do? And
well, so now it turns out they owe, and the thing was, like, it wasn't just this guy's stash. It was the stash of a much bigger, badder, more violent...
Blackface.
Drug dealer. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What a name. Oof. So, they've got to get a lot of money very quickly. And this is the part where I feel like it probably leaves the autobiographical.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. You
That's
have
my
to
guess.
check. Yeah.
That's my guess. But anyway, so all right.
Because if he
robbed
the bank, if he went to prison and he served his time, I'm pretty sure he would be open to tell the story, especially if you're selling a book, if you're selling a movie,
Sure. I just feel like this part got like a little bit, I don't know, a little goofy. It's just a tone shift that makes me think.
Yeah. Anyways.
This is where the creative license was.
So,
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
In the movie, they decide, all right, let's go rob a bank.
And they rob like a F-word bank and what's the other one? I can't remember. It was like,
I don't remember. The banks all have very creative and non-bank names.
Yeah, non-bank names.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he goes and he takes And first he does by himself, and then he decides to take a friend, and the friend leaves him. And yeah, it
gets pretty comical. Yeah. Just like the incompetence.
One aspect you didn't touch is that from time to time he narrates the movie, and from time to time he stops and talks to the camera. You know, breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
And it works fine. You know, sometimes it's been done so much that sometimes it's like, but in this case it worked throughout the movie. It worked pretty okay.
Did for me the first time he did it, it was like, oh, this feels like Oscar bait, but yeah, it once I got into it, it was okay.
Yeah. So they start robbing banks, and he got the money to pay his debts, but in one of the robbings, one of the guys gets shot, and he dies, right?
Oh my goodness, I don't remember. Oh man.
He dies,
so.
And they can take him to the hospital because
That's right. Yeah, he does die.
And then they get him.
So just go bury him in the woods or something.
Yeah, they take him out there. One of the friends even take his watch. And
socks for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it gets pretty ugly, and finally, like, this is what's kind of broken. And watching Emily go through the overdose, and then realizing how dangerous this is for her, and then the bank robbing, and realizing that this is someone eventually, well, besides the guy who died, you know, some innocents are gonna get hurt eventually as well. And so he pretty much turns himself in, right? He decides.
Yeah, he goes to a bank.
That's it.
He goes to a bank and he robs the place. But when he comes out, he stays out there shooting, so cameras outside get him. And then he sits down and injects himself with drugs, and so the police comes and arrests him. Yeah. And then there's another transition, which is, I think it's called the epilogue, or maybe that's not the epilogue. The movie is divided in chapters.
It is. Interestingly, almost exactly like Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah.
The chapters with titles and then an epilogue at the end. I haven't seen many movies that do that. It's been done before.
Tarantino does that, but Tarantino does these chapters, like he does 4, and then he does 1, and then he does 6, and then he does... And
it was just interesting seeing 2 movies do that in the same week.
Yeah, but so the final chapter or the epilogue.
I think it's the epilogue.
He's arrested. He goes to prison, and then we see a montage of his time in prison. He's trying to improve, it seems, and he's working at the prison. He's making friends, and
he finally gets some good therapy.
We see him on the group therapy.
And by good therapy, I mean he actually gets therapy.
Yeah, he reads books, and then he finally comes out. Older after so many years in prison.
You can tell he's got a mustache.
Yeah.
It's supposedly like 19 years in prison or something.
And he finally comes out, and for my surprise, when he comes out, she's waiting for him, and that's how the movie ends. Yeah.
I honestly did not expect a happy ending.
Maybe that was the fiction. Maybe she wasn't waiting for him.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. You have to...
Either way,
to read the book. No.
It was a surprisingly, for me, I was surprised at how like wholesome and upbeat the ending was. I was ready for him dosed up on the golden leaves, like that felt like the end, and then, but it felt really good to see him, build his life back together.
That's why I think it could be like completely. Not 100%, because no piece of art is 100% portrayal of reality, but it could be really close to reality. At the end,
sure,
he did rob. Maybe he didn't rob like several banks. Maybe he robbed one, and he went to prison, and that changed him, and he got out, and I don't know, a girl was there.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, he wrote a book after. to go to, to decide to go and write a book for all this journey. It's, and then make all fiction or mostly fiction. I don't know. But yeah, so that's Sherry. Anything else about Sherry?
I don't think so.
Okay, I gonna go here real quick to check about the reality of Sherry, and you're gonna tell us a joke.
I don't know jokes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you our 4-year-old's favorite knock knock joke. That's about where I am with humor these days.
Oh.
Okay, ready? Knock knock.
Who's there?
Who?
Who?
Did you hear that? There's an owl?
So Cherry is loosely based on the real-life experience of Nico Walker. So it's Nico Walker. According to the New York Times, soon after that article was published, Walker got a letter from the co-owner of Time Books. So he wrote an article apparently to the New York Times, and he got an invitation from a publishing company to
Oh yeah, no, he did go to. He did do the robbing banks. Yeah.
Okay, so it's really close to reality.
Yeah. All right.
Which is good because it gives a heart and soul to it's not like part has heart and the other part is is just to sell books. So it's loosely based because he might change things here and there, and names and places. The name is never mentioned. Yeah. Anyways,
he probably doesn't break the fourth wall in real life.
I don't know. Some people do. Sometimes I do. Anyways, but so Cherry available on Apple TV. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Let's go to the news of the week.
Okay, so first the sad news. Earlier this week, George Segal passed away after complications in surgery.
Oh, that's how he died?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought he was just
I think it was like heart surgery. Anyway, it didn't go well. He passed away, which was sad. He had a long, illustrious career in cinema. Most recently, he's been on The Goldbergs as Pops, which was an adorable and hilarious character. Yeah. So, talented.
But you also might remember him from Virginia Woolf.
Oh yeah, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. He was a while after that he was on Look Who's Stalking.
Yes.
He was the boyfriend of Christine what's that bucket?
Yeah, Kirstie Alley. Oh,
yeah.
I forgot that was him.
Yeah,
Wow.
He was young, dark hair. It's like it's very different than seeing him these days. Not long ago, he got his star in the Walk of Fame in Hollywood. For all his work, and I guess star, and now up there.
And not long after, Jessica Walter passed away as well, who is probably best known as Lucille Bluth on Arrested Development.
Lucille Bluth, yeah.
I know she did a lot before that.
She was also an Archer.
Yes.
In voice characters.
She actually said that her Arrested Development role came at a time when she thought she was starting to feel like her career might be maybe coming to an end or in some kind of crisis, and then she got that role and just nailed it.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, so funny.
Yeah,
such a horrible person. But
some of the cast of Arrested Development came out and said that she was like the queen of the quick responses. Zings. She was like, yeah. And we could see that on the show. She was pretty good.
She was, yeah. Great character, good actress. All right, so there's that.
Yes.
Let's move on to. Oh, any other thoughts about them?
No, that's it. So
okay.
Sad.
Yes, it is.
But what's not sad?
DC. Oh my gosh, so much is happening. So first, Batwoman. They did decide to recast Kane. So she's gonna show up at some point.
I don't know. We didn't catch up with the new season yet, so we don't know what's the explanation for the character to leave. We don't know explanation for the new character to take over.
Yeah.
And apparently the character will come back. No, with the same actress because she quit, and it's like, okay, whatever, you done. We're gonna use someone else, and they cast Walton Willis. Is that her name?
I don't remember.
Something. Peyton Willis. You can check. She was on Krypton, and now she's going to Gotham.
DC kind of, like, once you're in the DC universe, you kind of stick around.
I mean, there's the fact that there's the Canada aspect.
Sure.
You know, they shoot a lot of there, and maybe you're there, maybe you live there, and then it's like your agency, hey, there's this job on this other show here in Canada, so boom, whoa.
Yeah, okay, there's that.
There's that too.
Then there's also, like with Superman, I remember watching Smallville, and like there's constantly bringing people from the Richard Donner movies. Smallville and like always like referencing cameos and all this stuff. So like once you're in, you're in.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, the whole reference and homage is yes, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have a new Batwoman. It's like would be the third one. Yeah. Anyways.
In the meantime, the Snyder Cut was released to tremendous success and acclaim from critics and fans.
Yes, it hit the record of 1.8 million views in the first weekend. It only lost to Wonder Woman 1984. But Wonder Woman was released on Christmas Day, so it was a big holiday.
Yeah.
It had this advantage.
And also it wasn't 4 hours.
And also
it was not rated R.
4 hours. That's true. It wasn't rated R. Also it had advantages. So it's hitting big the numbers, and the hashtag Restore Snyder Universe also was breaking records. The hashtag broke the record that was before for Avengers Endgame, and it's still going. The movement is going strong.
Yeah.
People want to see like a lot. Even people that was not even know the whole. Oh, there was one. There was another one. Oh, when comes the other one? You know. So yeah. But Warner said that like, we're not gonna do it. So we'll see.
That's all right. We'll use the old ways.
Yes.
Or whatever it is Darkseid said.
Yeah, have faith.
Yeah. Okay. Whether or not we actually get to see the Snyderverse, there's still some great stuff coming. We got a new Suicide Squad trailer.
Yeah,
this week, and
directed by James Gunn with the huge cast.
Yeah, enormous cast, and this trailer, I think it looks really.
It's fun. Hilarious. It looks fun. It's gonna do pretty much what they did with Guardians of the Galaxy, and yeah.
But I think it's appropriate for Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
I think it works for this group of people.
I mean. Is one version that it could work. I mean, it might work. Not necessarily. It's like the books are not like extremely comedical. Like Deadpool. Deadpool is comedical in the books. So when they adapted the movies, they adapted it appropriately. In this case, would be an adaptation, a new direction, and it seems like it's gonna work. At least it's gonna be fun. Yeah,
I think so. So Harley is back, of course, but she seems to be back to the black and red aesthetic. Not that matters, but there we go. And John Cena, is it John Cena?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has some interesting things to say about a beach full of male genitalia. That if he had to eat a beach full of male genitalia for liberty, he would do it. For liberty. So we are in for quite the ride.
And he's got his own show. HBO is gonna make a show for that character. So yeah, you're gonna see a lot more of Peacemaker, you know, the character. Someone calling the douche Captain America.
I don't know if he's coming across so far as a douche, as maybe more of a doofus.
He's very doofus in the books. Yeah, it was like he would show up running. He's like, "I'm gonna save the day." Yeah, it's like, yeah. He was not a criminal. I'm pretty sure he's not a criminal. So he was not Suicide Squad material. I don't know if they're gonna he's just gonna help the team, or if he's gonna be a criminal. We'll see.
They did that with Katana in the first one.
True.
Katana was not a criminal, but she's just someone like, I need someone else here to keep these crazies in line.
And Amanda Waller has this way with people, you know, Joe Kinnaman's character, Rick Flag, is there. He's not a criminal, but he's blackmailed into it. And the first was because of a girlfriend. In this one, I don't know, maybe he's just going to keep a job to try to keep things a little clean.
Maybe he's dark and twisted enough now.
Yeah. Okay, so Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad is coming soon. The trailer's out. It's red, so NSFW, is that how they go?
No, so yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Moving on to the Flash.
Recast.
Yeah. So Henry Allen, Barry's dad.
Oh, we talked about this last week.
We talked about the other actor leaving.
Billy Crudup leaving.
Yeah. So who's replacing him?
Ron Livingston.
Who you would guaranteed have seen before?
Yes, he's one of those faces.
Yes.
He's been in movies. And,
he's been in a lot.
It's that guy. I was like, oh, that guy! From The Office. Not The Office, what's it called?
No, Office Space?
Office Space.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was also on Band of Brothers and other things.
Yeah. So he's been in a ton. He's just a really solid supporting actor.
Yeah, we do have a mother for the Flash, a father for the Flash, Flash, a girlfriend. Yeah, but some surprising cast came from the set of Black Adam.
I'm so freaking excited for this movie, and everything we hear about it just makes me more excited.
Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
007. He's gonna be in Mamma Mia, but okay. He's gonna be Dr. Fate.
That's right, Fate, Dr. Fate.
Yeah.
So excited. Really, you could have just said like Dr. Fate is gonna be in this movie, and like I'm there for it. I'm excited to see this character on the screen, on the big screen. But yeah, Pierce Brosnan. I think this is gonna work.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty cool.
Another big one from the set of Shazam, the good old Captain Marvel from DC, is Helen Mirren's gonna be a villain in the movie. No details, we don't know, but Helen Mirren.
Yeah, they're bringing in some like the big guns. That's
the difference between one of the many difference. Marvel and DC. DC is bringing big guns, you know.
Yeah.
For instance, if you watch Man of Steel, the amount of Oscars there, you have Kevin Costner, you have Russell Crowe, you have Michael Shannon, Henry Cavill was the new guy, but you have Amy Adams, you have Lawrence Fishburne, you know, big names. And Snyder was giving an interview this week, and he said he actually offered the role of Zod and Man of Steel from none other than Daniel Day-Lewis.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
But Daniel didn't want it. He passed on.
Okay. Well, we got a different brand of violent and disturbing.
Yeah. But you know, if you saw that movie, Gangs of New York.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
The guy can do bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyways,
that would have been interesting.
Yes. Anyway, so Helen Mirren is gonna be on Shazam.
Yeah. Okay. This is so exciting, and it's so. It does my heart good to know that they're finally they're shooting. It's moving forward. So.
They've been talking for decades.
Yeah.
Literally.
This movie is basically why I follow Dwayne Johnson on Instagram. Like, he's a fun, cool guy who does lots of fun, cool stuff. But mostly I'm there because he tends to drop stuff about Black Adam a little earlier than other places do. So yeah, that's very exciting.
Yes. So that's, big names coming.
Yeah. Okay, speaking of big names, last but not least, we go to Netflix and Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves is set to produce a show. Is it a show or a movie?
I think that's a great question.
Okay, a show or movie based on BRZRKR, a comic book that he produced, that he wrote, and the character looks like him.
And it sounds like he's going to be starring in it.
Oh,
too.
yes, of course. Yeah. Come on. he made the book that looks like him. The show is going to be him.
Yeah. This is all Keanu all day.
Yeah. We don't know if that was the reason. why he made the book look like him to be him in the movie, but it worked.
I wonder how you convey his like odd way of like walking. I haven't seen the book at all, but I'm trying to think how you would convey like his mannerisms in comic. Like, is he always at a tilt or like?
Yeah, no, yes, you can't. It's a
like
book.
every frame he's on a different side. I don't know.
Well. So that's it for this week. This is all the news. Anything else?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll have a bunch more next week, though.
Next week you're gonna see Godzilla versus King Kong. And yeah, it's gonna be explosive.
So good.
And I guess that's it for this week. We see you next time. May the force be with you.
Live long and prosper.
Bye.
Bye.